If you desire for Jesus to come back, if the Maranatha cry is in your heart, can I tell you that you cannot detach the Maranatha cry from God keeping his promises to Israel. Isaiah 62 speaks of Zion's coming salvation, and it says, this is the Lord speaking. He says, for Zion's sake, I will not keep silent, and for Jerusalem's sake, I will not be quiet until her righteousness goes forth as brightness and her salvation as a burning torch. He says, the nations shall see your righteousness and all the kings your glory. He goes on to say, on your walls, O Jerusalem, I have set watchmen all the day and all the night. They shall never be silent. You who put the Lord in remembrance, take no rest and give him no rest until he establishes Jerusalem and makes it a praise on the earth. And so we have a God who will take no rest until Zion shines forth in righteousness and in brightness. Zion, which is a real place, it's a real center in Israel. Zion is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the place where Jesus is going to come back and rule and reign from. When heaven and earth become one, Jesus is going to be at a real place. He's going to be seated on the throne of David in Jerusalem, in the land. And so he is taking no rest until he is in Zion. And now all of Israel recognizes that he is their righteousness. And so their righteousness will shine forth out of Zion. And so he is gathering and creating a company of people who will agree with his heart, agree with his desires, agree with his restlessness for Zion to be established, who are not going to cease to cry out until Jerusalem becomes a praise in the earth. He's raising up a company of people who will take no rest until he has his resting place on the earth. Psalm 132 talks about this. It says, arise, O Lord, and go to your resting place. It goes on to say, the Lord swore to David a sure oath from which he will not turn back. One of the sons of your body I will set on your throne. Jesus came through the line of David, right? He is the son of David, the one who will sit on the throne of David, which is a real throne. And it says, for the Lord has chosen Zion. He has desired it for his dwelling place. He says, this is my resting place forever. Here I will dwell, for I have desired it. Jesus desires to dwell, to rest in Zion, to dwell in Jerusalem, to sit on the throne of David forever, to rule and reign as the increase of his government and his peace will know no end. This is what we're crying out for when we cry out, Maranatha, come Lord Jesus. It's for him to come, sit on the throne to fulfill his promises to Israel. Israel is a centerpiece of the promises of God, of the story of God. Zion, Jerusalem, this is the centerpiece to the story of God. And we have to understand and agree with Israel's centrality. All of the law and the prophets and the covenants were given to Israel, a real people. Jesus coming back to rule and reign cannot be detached from his keeping his promises to Abraham, to David, to Israel. His covenant faithfulness to his people is seen in his return. And so when we cry out Maranatha, we have to also be willing to partner with his heart and his desires for Israel. We have to understand his story rightly, the people that he came from. Jesus put on flesh forever. He is a Jewish man forever. He's coming back in flesh. And so if you don't have an understanding, if you don't have a heart for Israel, ask the Lord to begin to reveal it to you. Ask the spirit of wisdom and of revelation to rest on you as you read the word, as you read his promises, as you pray, that you would begin to see these things and that you would be able to stand with him and his people in the last days as you cry out, Maranatha, come Lord Jesus.